for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 23 coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, AOEAH.com. Use code VENM at checkout for 3% off your order. Yo, what's good? It's VENM Fire here, back in the video, and here we're going to be bringing you guys how to quick adjust like a pro in Madden 23. Now, what we're going to do today is just going over some basic adjustments, how to quick adjust. It's one of the most important things in the game to know. It just makes playing defense that much more complicated. In all of my videos, I talk about these adjustments. I get a lot of comments, how do I do this, how do I do that? And that's what this video is going to entail. Pretty much describe to you, how we do that. So I'm just going to come out in like a random defensive formation, go over all of the quick adjustments that you can go through. I usually do these videos every year. Of course, there's a lot of new people who might not know how to quick adjust. So that's why I do it, because, obviously they're not going to see a Madden 22 video if that makes any sense. So we'll just come out in a random formation. Let's go with the Trey Y flex, and defensively we'll run like a nickel set just because just a basic formation that a lot of people run. So coming out immediately, what you have is going to be, and I might actually move my camera because you can't actually see any of these things. So we're going to move our camera to the other side. That's poor planning, but it is what it is. So there we go, moved our camera. And so what we're going to do is go over the quick adjustments. Now immediately you have, how do I pull up quick adjustments? Some people probably don't know. So to pull up your quick adjustments, you can press the right stick. Now pushing the right stick is actually something you never want to do unironically. You just never want to press the right stick. You can press all these buttons that you see here without pressing the right stick. So to audible, I don't have to go right stick, then X. I can just straight up go X and then audible to whatever I want. Same thing with your, if I wanted to adjust my defensive line, I would press that D-pad to the left, and that's how you can do that. Now I'm mainly going to focus in on the quick adjustments, but I'll go over some of the basic things as well, like shifting your D-line, because those kind of go into the same category, I would say, I guess. So, so of course, audibling, you're just going to press X or square. That's going to pull up your drop-down menu. You can select between the 4 plays, or you can, of course, switch between other formations that entail that personnel. And then taking a look at what else we have, you have your defensive keys, which is going to be like a, defensive menu. Now, the defensive keys are going to be with your RB button, and this is where you can move the whole defense. Some setups for blitzes, especially, you can actually pinch the whole defense. The way you do that is RB down on that left stick. What that's going to do is pinch your D-line, pinch your linebackers, and then press your corners. If you want to spread them up on the left stick, that's going to move all of them away. And also, if you want to reset your defense for any reason, reset the play, what you do is press X and left trigger. That's going to move everyone back to their start spot. So that's just going to reset the play, reset all of the adjustments you do, just in case you didn't know that. So also flipping the play is going to be the right trigger. I'm not going to do that, but that is how you do it. So other things you have with RB are going to be shift to the right, shift to the left. Never use those. I've never used them really. There's no reason to. Option quarterback, option running back. You can do that in your coach adjustments, so it's not a concern, but the main ones are going to be QB contain. Then you have your run commits on the right. If it's a 3rd and 20, you're going to pass commit. That can give you better sheds. I'm not sure exactly if it does, but run committing is going to be down on the right 6. So if they were to run inside zone, now you have everybody going after the running back, which is very good on the goal line, or 4th and inches. It's got to be a run play. I don't use it as much, but it definitely can be useful, and it's good to know how to use, of course. The last thing is going to be QB contain. A lot of times for blitz setups or just defenses, QB contain, I get that question a lot. How do I contain? Just double tap R1. It's very quick and easy. You don't have to wait for anything to load. You can just do it and without these things even showing up. So I just did it right there. And then you snap the ball and you see you cannot scramble out of the pocket. So pretty valuable thing right there. Let's go into some of the other adjustments that we have. And we're going to start out with the secondary, which you see is going to be Y. Now you're going to press Y. This is going to kind of pull up the same things. The most valuable things here are going to be shading over the top and base aligning, as well as pressing. So to press, you're going to press Y or triangle down on that left stick. That's going to press your corners, everybody. To base align, it's going to be that left stick to the right. Now, what is a base align exactly? Now, a base align is going to be It depends formation to formation, but it's going to make sure that your defense shows up the same every time, whether you're facing 5 wide or bunch. It's going to look exactly like it does on the player. Sometimes when someone's in a spread out formation, it makes your play look different than it did when you selected it in the preview screen. When you base a line, it's always going to be the same. It usually is the same for compressed formations, bunched tight, but for this, it is going to be different, like a tray wide flex. So base aligning can definitely be useful. And then when you baseline press, that is going to be where the corner is outside. So when we normally press, he was over the tight end. Now he's out there like that. So for a lot of blitz setups, I'll say baseline. You can also set your auto alignment to base to kind of counteract having to do this adjustment every single time, which is going to save yourself some time. But so that's how to baseline press. If you want to back up your corners and go up on that left stick, you can also cancel the baseline by just baselining again. So you can definitely do that. Some of the other stuff you have here is shading over the top. Specifically when you're running a man coverage scheme, it can be very valuable to shade over the top. And what shading over the top is going to do is, let's just run our normal play. You'll see these guys are going to press and everybody's getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. And just a normal press. Now, let's say as super fast receivers, you might not have the fastest corners to match up with them. In that situation, that is where you would want to shade over the top. So you saw those receivers got pressed. We'll run man coverage again. This time we'll shade over the top, which is wide up on that right stick. And now nobody is pressing and the streak is not open. Now you can intercept it. So pretty simple stuff right there. Now, moving on to the rest of it, you have things like man align, playing the sticks can be valuable, but you can do that in coach adjustments with your zone drops anyway. And then you have your individual adjustments, which can be nice. You can manually move players back by pressing Y, A, and then let's say we want to move the slot cornerback or press the slot corner. We can press Y and then down. Now he's going to jam him. So that's just a cool way to move players. And also for blitz setups, you can do that instead of having to click on and move him down. If you don't want to press the rest of the corners, that is, of course. Now, the main thing we're going to go over is quick adjustments. Now, with quick adjustments, you're just going to double tap Y, the same thing that you do for your D-line, double tap the D-pad to the left. But you're just going to double tap Y. That's going to bring up the screen. Now, you have a variety of adjustments. It's going to depend on the player you want to adjust, but it's going to be X in this case. We'll go over the corner, slot corner, and safeties. And with this outside corner, you have a variety of adjustments. On the left, it's going to be some basic zones. You have 3 flat zones in your cloud flat, soft squat, and hard flat. And all those groups have different quick adjustments. So that's why it's important to know what you're doing, because hard flat will be different on the outside corner versus the, slot corner. You don't have a soft squat for the slot corner. You can't do that. So, you have all your basic zones. You have soft squat. You have your cloud flat, of course. You have a hard flat if you wanted to play shorter. And then you have your outside third, which is going to be up on the left stick. So again, you double tap Y, press the corner that you want, which is going to be X, and then up on whatever stick you want. Now, on the right side, you're going to have man coverage. I'm going to talk about how to man up people, because a lot of times you'll hear me say, oh, you're going to man up this player on the running back, you're going to man up so-and-so on the safety or on the tight end, whatever. So the way you do that is double tap Y, X, up on the right stick, and that's going to bring up who you want to man up. Of course, there's going to be limitations depending on the player. You can't really cross man, so you're not going to be able to man up the slot corner on the tight ends, something like that. Let's say I want to man up Cedric Wilson. We will just press that X button, and now he is in man coverage. So that is how you do man coverage. You do it really fast. I recommend just going in practice mode and practicing if this is your first time seeing these adjustments, because otherwise you can't set up those really good, complicated defenses. Now, the rest of the zones you have are an outside quarter, and then you have your deep half, and the last one's going to be blitz, which you should never be using. So we'll reset, and that is how you do it from the outside. Now let's go to the slot corner. It's going to be the same thing. You're just pressing Y now instead of X, and now you have a couple of different adjustments. Now you have a vertical hook, which is not an option before. You don't have a cloud flat, but you have a curl flat. You still have the hard flat, and then you have a seam flat instead of an outside third. Of course, you can't put your slot corner in any deep zones, which takes away the quarter. It takes away the deep half. It takes away the outside third. It's going to replace those with things like bluff blitz, QB spy, and vertical hook. Now the vertical hook is a good zone. You see he's already in a vert hook, but if you want to put him in a lot of times I'll say put him in a yellow zone. That's just going to be the vert hook. That's just going to be down on the left stick. If you want to put him in a hard flat, you can throw him with that left stick to the left. Same thing with the curl flat, just going to be to the right. Pretty good for double flats, I would say. And then seam flat, I don't really ever use seam flat, I'll be honest, so I'm not too useful. Then, of course, you have man coverage. We already talked about how to man someone up. It's going to be the same thing. And again, you can man up anybody besides the tight end in this situation, so you can still man him up on like a Tyreek Hill. It does not matter. So, yeah, just overall cool stuff right there. Then you have a QB spy. I would never really spy my slot corner, but you have a cool adjustment, which is going to be the bluff blitz. I do use this adjustment. Now it shows that this player is actually in the bluff blitz. That's not true. It is your slot corner. This guy's not blitzing, but the player is glitched. I'm not sure why it's a thing, but it is. So you'll see that he does kind of play a bluff blitz adjustment. The bluff blitzes do play a little bit more aggressive. Depending on what defense you're in, you can get that guy in a 3-rec hook, especially out of nickel through 3 Tampa 2. But yeah, you can't get them out of there. And then the rest, you have just a regular blitz. That can be useful. Sometimes we do want to blitz the slot corner, so that can be valuable. Other than that, not much for the slot corner. Let's move on to our safeties. Now, at the safety position, you're going to have your strong safety and your free safety. These guys will not have different adjustments, which is good because it would be a little bit confusing if they did. Now, taking a look at the left, you're going to have 2 different zones. The deep half, of course, which he is in now, is going to be up on the left stick. The inside third is going to be to the left, and that's going to go for both players, of course. So you want to put him in an inside third. You're running a cover 3 cloud or something. Very easy to just do this. We'll reset that, and you see how fast I can reset it. You need to get really quick with these adjustments. But yeah, you can go inside third. The other ones you have are hook curl, which can be cool if you're running. It depends on the defense you're running, but sometimes we'll do hook curls run like a cover 3 buzz. And then you have an inside quarter. I don't use that too often. That's a decent zone though. And then you have your curl flat, because again, a lot of times he'll throw safeties in flats. If you want to throw the safety in a hard flat, what you do is put him in a curl flat like this, and then what you do is shade underneath. That's actually going to put him in a hard flat. So I didn't mention that, but if you shade underneath, it's hard flat. If you shade back over the top, it's actually going to turn it into a cloud flat. So some pretty cool stuff there. If you want to shade over the top and then put him in, or if you want to put him in a hard flat and then shade over the top, it's a little bit more complicated because you can't really do that. You would probably have to back up your corners. Other than that, you have a spy, blitz. You can also man up these safeties. Of course, same way you do it with the other ones. The man coverage is always going to be up on the right stick. And then again, the strong safety is the same thing, so we don't really have to mention him. But let's move on to our next group, which is going to be the linebacking group. And linebacking group, you can see certain blitz setups. I'll say blitz all linebackers because it's a pain to have to quick adjust and manually blitz everybody. So that's going to be T-pad to the right, down on the right stick. And that's going to blitz everybody, these 2 linebackers in this case. And if you want to clear that, you just press LT and that'll cancel out you blitzing everybody, if that makes sense. So that is how to blitz linebackers. And then again, if you just want to pinch linebackers or spread your linebackers, because certain blitz setups will only have you pinch a specific group, like only pinching your D-line or only pinching your linebackers, which is why we won't always pinch the defense, if that makes any sense. But yeah, not much else besides this. You notice that the quick adjust is going to be to the right. And I also didn't mention the button. The linebacker group is going to be your D-pad to the right. So D-pad to the right, it used to be RB. They took that out a couple of years ago. But yeah, so D-pad to the right. And then if you press it twice, that's going to pull up your quick adjustments. You can do this really fast. Then you can select between 2 of these guys. They're going to have the same set, of course, but they have a couple of unique things. Of course, man coverage is going to be the same up on that right stick. Then you're going to have a hard flat, which is going to be the right stick to the right. If you remember earlier with our slot corner, and our outside corner, it was to the left. In this case, the hard flat is going to be to the right. The curl flat is still going to be to the left stick to the right, which is nice. And then you have a hook curl, a mid read, and middle third. Middle third is going to be, again, different than these safeties. It's also called something different, middle third versus an inside third. It's the same thing though, just from the linebacker position. And then again, you have hook curls. You actually can't go vert hook. So if I wanted the vert hook, I would just reset by pressing LT, and now he's back in a vert hook. So again, if you want to blitz a certain guy, you only want to blitz one. Double tap D-pad to the right, press A, and then down on the right stick. Other than that, you have your curl flat. And then again, if I wanted a cloud flat, I could chain underneath, chain over the top, and then run something maybe like this. I don't know. Who knows what you're running, but you can do things like that. Let's actually reset that corner. But yeah, so that's a good way to adjust your linebackers. Again, you can also spy, but that's about it. Let's move on to our defensive line. Defensive line quick adjust is going to be with your D-pad to the left. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and you see you have your certain adjustments. So if you press it once, you can pinch your D-line, you can spread your D-line, you can shift them to the right, you can shift them to the left. And then also we're going to talk about point of attack, which is actually very important. Also the reset is going to be the left trigger again. Now your point of attack is going to be to slant or crash. I call it crashing a lot of times. I'll say crash right or crash up. It's the same thing as slanting outside. So crash out, slant out. I don't say slant outside. It just takes too long to say. But yeah, this is how you crash. So take a look at how they are now. They're kind of blitzing down and they're all angles. Let's say I want to crash to the left. Now they're all facing to the left and they will start by running to the left and engaging with that certain guy. So it's very valuable for blitzes certain times. Depending on the blitz, it can be nice to do that. Slanting inside, it's going to be down. Crashing down, slanting out, is going to move all of them out. And that's kind of a good rush to stop QB scrambles as well if you don't want to contain. And then you can obviously just slant right. So, and again, to reset, this crashing as well, it's just going to be left trigger. Now, let's just talk about our quick adjustments now. Quick adjustments just going to be, again, press the same thing twice. And now you have a couple of different guys. I'll show the D-end adjustments versus the D-tackle. They will be different. Now, with your D-end, you have 3 different flat zones and a vert hook that you can go to. So you can go seam flat. Again, seam flat, I think it's a terrible zone. I don't really ever use that. But you have hard flat, curl flat, and then vert hook. Now, again, a lot of times it can be valuable to double flat by putting X in like a curl flat, or if you needed it, a hard flat if it was a cover 3. So it can be valuable to do that. And again, the same way, if I wanted a hard flat, I could just shade underneath and get him in a hard flat. So you can do that. You have a vert hook, so if you want to drop him back in coverage, if he's throwing like a wheel route in that area and you have to man up a certain player, then you can get a vert hook back by just throwing your DN in there. I like to rush 4 in this game, so I don't do these as much this year, but it can be valuable. Now, we're going to go to the rest of them, and you can actually man up these DNs. So a lot of times what people will do is man up the DN on the same side as the running back. They can man up the running back. They can only man up on the running back, though. You notice how the DNs, you can't man a DN on a wide receiver or a tight end. So you can man them up on the running back, though, which is really the only situation you need to. Now you see our boy, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, in a D-end man coverage assignment. And again, man coverage, same thing up on the right stick. You have QB spy. QB spy is always going to be left on the right stick if you have it. Then you have a bluff blitz. So bluff blitz, now you see he's actually in the 3-rec zone, which I mentioned was pretty good. So you'll see how the 3-rec plays. He's going to blitz, and then he's going to drop back in coverage. And look how he just kind of actually turns into like a match coverage man-up zone. Now our sheds are terrible, but you saw kind of how he took away the running back route where we had a deeper flat that was not going to defend it. And the deeper flat was able to take the deeper route, which you kind of want. So that's a good adjustment. Again, it does cost you in pass rush, but you know what I'm saying? It can be good. Moving on to our defensive tackles. You see these are very, very unique. You have on the left side, you can't put these guys in flats. Of course, they're D tackles, but you can put them in a variety of zones. You have either vert hooks or hook curls, and depending on the side, it's a little bit confusing for the vert hook. Left is just going to be up, right's going to be down. And hook curl is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of times I'll just end up putting them in a hook curl because that's just how I remember, left or right, just faster that way. But yes, you can do them that way. If I want this D tackle, Grady Jarrett, who's actually a D end, I think, in real life. If I wanted him in a hook curl to the left, that can actually be a valuable adjustment. You'll see how he's going to drop back to that left side. And if you can get an athletic guy, maybe he's able to break up a pass. Who knows? But I don't really drop my D tackles ever in coverage. I'll just show you how to do it, though, of course. And then, the other adjustments you have are the bluff blitz again. That can actually be good if you have a really athletic D tackle, QB spy, man coverage, and blitz. Again, you can only man up the running back, but you can spy these guys. Spying can be valuable in this game, but the QB scramble is not too OP, so I don't really recommend it that much. But yeah, man, overall, that's really going to do it. If you guys did enjoy, want more videos like this, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace out.